Good afternoon, Jakarta, and welcome back to Jakarta in a Week, where we deliver updates from all around Jakarta and also the world. My name is Tito Dos Santos, and here are today's headlines. Prabowo opens Emirates Indonesia Cardiology Hospital. Turkish artist crafts unique gift for Pope's upcoming visit. Now let's jump onto the first news. On November 19th, Indonesian President Prabowo Subianto inaugurated the Emirates Indonesia Cardiology Hospital in Surakarta, Central Java. This high-tech health facility marks a new milestone in the strategic cooperation between Indonesia and the United Arab Emirates, continuing an initiative started during President Joko Widodo's administration.
President Prabowo Subianto officially opened the Emirates Indonesia Cardiology Hospital on Wednesday, November 19, 2025. In his remarks, President Prabowo expressed his high appreciation to the UAE President, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, for his significant contribution to the hospital's construction. The President noted that the project originated from President Joko Widodo's initiative, showcasing the continuity of national development. President Prabowo further emphasized the strong bond between Indonesia and the UAE due to Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed for his consistent dedication and assistance.
Adalah salah satu kewajiban negara yang berhasil mampu memberi pelayanan kesehatan yang layak untuk seluruh rakyat Indonesia. Karena itu, inisiatif seperti ini adalah sangat penting. Saya dapat laporan rumah sakit ini memiliki peralatan mungkin yang tercanggih di seluruh Indonesia. Saya juga memberitahu ke Menteri Kesehatan bahwa saya menghendaki tiap kabupaten kota memiliki rumah sakit yang canggih seperti ini. Dalam 4 tahun yang akan datang kita akan berusaha mencapai itu. Kita berusaha, tapi yang jelas saya akan alokasikan biaya yang cukup besar untuk pelayanan kesehatan.
This hospital is expected to improve the quality of cardiology health services for the Indonesian people, while strengthening the bilateral relations between Indonesia and the UAE.
Vice President Gibran Rakabuming calls for fair and inclusive use of artificial intelligence during the third plenary session of the G20 summit at Johannesburg Expo Center.
Indonesia underscores that technology transition must be inclusive, stressing that access to AI should not be dominated only by developed countries. In his address, President warns that AI could widen global inequality if not governed fairly, and urges the G20 to ensure that digital transformation benefits every nation. He highlights the need for ethical AI governance, fair access to data and training systems, and cooperation in the supply of critical minerals needed for data centers and advanced chips. Indonesia reaffirms commitment to building domestic industries and creating value at home, ensuring that natural resources and technological advancements benefit its people.
We must ensure that AI becomes a force for inclusion. This means ethical governance and, more importantly, equal access. AI may be digital, but it depends on the physical. From data center to advanced chip, AI relies on critical minerals. And global demand for these inputs is growing fast. But for too long, developing countries exported raw materials while the real value was taken elsewhere. Past industrial revolutions were built on this imbalance. We must not repeat it. This is why Indonesia chose a different path. We build industry at home and invest in downstream transformation and ensure our people benefit from their own natural wealth. This is not about closing doors, it's about opening fair partnership, linking investment, technology transfer, and responsible practices for critical minerals. Excellencies,
Indonesia declares its readiness to partner with all nations to ensure that the next technological revolution creates opportunity for all, not just a privileged few.
South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has formally closed the G20 summit in Johannesburg, marking the first time the meeting was hosted on African soil.
South African President brought the summit to a formal close by striking the gavel, before announcing that the United States will assume the next G20 presidency. He was then asked where the U.S. delegation was, to which he responded with a laugh, saying they're not here. President Donald Trump boycotted the two-day gathering after claiming the South African government targets its white minority, allegations widely dismissed by international observers. The absence left other world leaders to mark the closing moment, exchanging congratulations with Ramaphosa on the historic African hosting of the summit.
I now say that this gavel of this G20 summit formally closes this summit and now moves on to the next president of the G20, which is the United States, where we shall see each other again next year. The summit is therefore closed.
The summit closes with South Africa highlighting its role in elevating African priorities as the United States prepares to take the G20 presidency next year.
Indonesian youth face critical challenges in employment, education, and social inclusion while driving innovation and digital transformation for national development.
As Indonesia enters a new phase of economic and climate ambition, its youth population of 64 million represents a potential demographic dividend if empowered with the right skills and opportunities. Youth unemployment remains high with significant skills mismatches and regional disparities in access to education and jobs, especially outside urban centers. Only a small percentage of youth complete higher education and become entrepreneurs, highlighting the need for targeted support. Initiatives led by UNDP and partners focus on digital skill trainings, entrepreneurship development, and inclusive policies that prioritize vulnerable groups such as young women, indigenous youth, and persons with disabilities. These programs also address social risks, including drug abuse and online gambling, through promoting healthy digital literacy and responsible technology use.
Kalau menurut kami itu pertama adalah terkait dengan akses informasi itu tadi, kemudian juga akses terhadap pembiayaan, apalagi kalau misalnya kita ngomongin entrepreneurship gitu ya, pasti kan pertanyaan kemudian modalnya dari mana gitu. Nah padahal sebetulnya banyak program-program yang sudah diberikan oleh pemerintah ataupun juga mungkin lembaga-lembaga pembangunan ataupun donor ataupun juga dari private sector, itu biasanya ada program-program CSR yang bisa digunakan atau diakses untuk bisa dijadikan kapital.
Effective collaboration between government, private sector, academia, and youth organizations is crucial to close gender and regional gaps and create an inclusive economy. Empowering youth is not only a social agenda but a national economic imperative essential for achieving Indonesia's Vision 2045 and Sustainable Development Goals.
Pemuda itu adalah isu yang penting ya. Tadi sudah dipaparkan juga bagaimana data statistik di kita itu bukan saja menunjukkan jumlah pemuda yang cukup banyak, tapi banyak juga yang usia produktif tapi belum ada kegiatan-kegiatan yang sifatnya produktif. Saya sangat mengapresiasi kegiatan Youth Empowerment Festival ini, dan itu juga relate sebenarnya dengan agenda ya yang dikembangkan oleh Universitas Nasional.
Addressing these challenges will enable Indonesian youth to become drivers of innovation and positive social change on the path to a prosperous and sustainable future.
Bogor city government is continuously accelerating the reduction of stunting rate through digital technology, such as by launching the Bogor Free Stunting application, also known as Bogor Besti, for the sake of accountable, transparent,
steady investment, and rising exports remain the main drivers of Indonesia's economic performance. Most sectors posted positive growth, showing a broad and resilient recovery. The economy is expected to stay solid moving forward.
The World Press Photo Exhibition 2025 is set to showcase award-winning photojournalism from around the globe, including works by Indonesian photographers.
The exhibition will run from November 21st to December 20 at Erasmus Huis, Jakarta, featuring this year's most impactful photojournalistic and documentary images. Selected from more than 59,000 entries, the works highlight key global issues, including politics, migration, conflict, and the climate crisis. One of the featured photographers is Indonesia Mr. Agung Willis Yuda Baskoro, who won the Asia Pacific and Oceania single image category with his photo on the environmental impact of nickel mining in Halmahera Island. The competition regional system, introduced in 2021, aims to broaden perspective with independent juries, including representative from Indonesia.
Pengaruhi banget sih, karena selama ini kita biasa lihatnya ke media sosial gitu kan, yang kontennya receh-receh. Ketika ngelihat pameran seperti ini, kerasa banget pesannya. Jadi ada pesan yang tersampaikan lewat foto seperti itu, kemudian juga bahkan membantu pemahaman kita sih bahwa ternyata dunia juga ya sedang baik-baik aja.
The exhibition continues World Press Photo's mission to support press freedom and bring global audiences closer to stories that matter. From Jakarta, Cheryl and F1 reporting for Jakarta in a Week.
The United Nations reports that the Palestinian economy has suffered its deepest collapse in its history due to the ongoing military operations and access restrictions in Gaza and the West Bank.
A latest UN Trade and Development Agency report states the Palestinian economy has suffered the sharpest decline since recording began in 1972. Military operations in the past 2 years and restrictions on movement have triggered damage to infrastructure, productive assets, and public services in Gaza and the West Bank. In Gaza, economic contraction reached 83% by 2024, reducing per capita income to just $161 per year. UN says recovery will take decades, with reconstruction budget required estimated to reach $70 billion. In the West Bank, access restrictions and increasing settler violence hinder agricultural activities and economic productivity.
What we see today is extremely worrying. The prolonged military operation, combined with long-standing restrictions, has pushed the economy of the occupied Palestinian territory into its deepest decline on record. Much of the infrastructure, productive assets, and public services have been damaged or destroyed, wiping out decades of progress. The result is one of the deepest and worst economic crises seen anywhere in recent decades.
UN emphasizes Palestine needs long-term international support to repair continuing economic and humanitarian damage.
Toxic contamination from mining operations in Myanmar is flowing into Thailand's Kok and Mekong rivers, putting farmers and local fishers at risk, according to new research.
The Kok River, a key tributary of the Mekong, has long provided water for farmland and fishing communities across northern Thailand. But residents say the river is no longer safe after scientists detected traces of arsenic, heavy metals, and chemicals linked to unregulated rare earth and gold mining in Myanmar. In villages along the river, farmers who depend on the waterway for irrigation have been forced to switch to groundwater, as crops irrigated from the Kok can no longer be sold. Meanwhile, artisanal fishers on the Mekong report declining catches, saying the river's changing conditions have made daily work unpredictable. Researchers from the U.S.-based Stimson Center identified more than 2,400 potentially polluting mines across mainland Southeast Asia, many located along critical river systems like the Mekong and Salween. The Thai government says it is coordinating with international bodies to address cross-border pollution and mitigate risks for communities.
เหมือนเราตายไปครึ่งหนึ่งแล้วค่ะคือแบบนี้คือเอามา